How to sell management consulting services. This is the question that I'm going to answer for you today. During our time together, I'm going to give you the 6 steps to selling management consulting services. It is not a difficult process. You're going to master it by the time we finish this video. I'm also going to share with you the one thing you should never do, and that's going to be step 7. That's going to be the 7th thing I share with you. So make sure you stay with me all the way to the end, because I learned the one thing you should never do. I learned it the hard way because I was doing it over and over again and I kept getting hit in the mouth. You don't want to make this mistake because it'll cost you a lot of money. It'll cost you a lot of time, and candidly, it will cost you an enormous amount of heartbreak. Selling management consulting services is all about offering to help solve problems in exchange for money. Step number 1, if you're just getting started selling management consulting services, the first thing you should do is focus on a niche market. You should zero in to focus on a target audience, and the goal in doing that is you want to become famous in that niche market within 6 months to a year maximum. We don't have any time to waste. You've got to sell your management consulting services. You've got to grow, and you've got to grow rapidly. So step number 1, focus on a narrow niche market. Now, you can pick any type of niche market you want. I prefer to base my target audiences in the B2B space on industries. So if you wanted to focus on, for example, people who worked in the home services industry, like plumbers, handymen, pest control people, pool people, and you wanted to help them market their services, that would be a great niche audience to target. So you know where to go to target those people. If you wanted to narrow it down even further and say you only wanted to focus on roofers, there are roofing associations and roofing conventions and websites dedicated just to the education of roofers and roofing. The more narrow you target your niche audience, the easier it will be for you to become famous in that niche audience over time. Now, I want to make something very, very clear. I'm telling you to focus on a specific industry niche for your marketing. That doesn't mean your entire business is dedicated just to that industry niche. You can work with people in roofing, in plumbing, as handymen. You can work with CPAs and attorneys. You can work with all those folks at the same time. Just each marketing message is tailored and focused on a specific group. I am a convert of my own system. If you're wondering where I get this from, well, I've been doing this, teaching people how to develop management consulting practices for over 20 years. I was the managing partner of the Gallup organization's New York office. I carried a book of business. My own book of business was $20 million in annual revenue. My team delivered over $200 million in consulting services on an annual basis. So I promise you, I am doing all of the things that I'm teaching you to do, and I'm doing them right now. This video is targeted at you because you want to get into management consulting. Maybe you're a professional speaker and you're looking to add a revenue stream. This has happened to a lot of my friends who are professional speakers, particularly back in 2020 during COVID-19. Professional speakers couldn't go anywhere and get in front of groups, and they were wishing they had diversified their revenue streams and they had a coaching or a consulting practice. In my business, I do some professional speaking. Sometimes I get paid to speak. I use speaking as a lead generation tool. I do consulting where I help people improve their businesses and I give them specific advice on how to do that. I also do coaching where I coach people on how to grow their revenue, how to get their invoices paid, how to manage a professional practice. And I target people in specific niche markets. I target people in the legal profession. Many people think I only work with lawyers because I do so much to target them as clients for me. I also target people who are CPAs. I target in-home service people. I do work with plumbers and electricians and roofers and pool people and pest control people. I work with those who want to go from 6 figures to 7. That's my specialty, but all of my marketing is focused on the individual groups that I am targeting. If you want to specifically focus on growing a consulting services business, focusing on a narrow niche is step number 1. That's the first place you should start. Step number 2, you need to identify a problem that you solve. Many people come to me because they want help growing their revenue. In fact, that's probably why you're here. You were searching for how to sell management consulting services. That's a specific problem that I've helped people solve for my entire career. I've been doing this for 30 plus years. I've helped people grow their revenue for 30 plus years. That's not all I do, but I identified that problem early on, and now I help people like you go from good to great. Take your book of business, take your professional practice, take your management consulting business from 6 figures to 7. That's specifically the problem that I solve. You need to come up with a specific problem that you solve for your clients. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, okay, Dave, that's great. Identify a problem I solve, focus on a specific niche. So, Dave, you solve the revenue growth problem for people who are looking to grow a consulting business. That's great. But I don't know that I specifically have that problem. How do I know if I have that problem? And that's where we get to step 3. I have to help you understand the problem that you're facing. You have to help your prospect understand his problem. You see, when people come to you for help in management consulting, they're coming to you with symptoms. They may not actually know what the underlying problem is. So you have to help them understand specifically what's going on. So you came to me today in the form of watching this video because you're wondering how to sell management consulting services. So your problem is you don't know how to go out and develop business from a management consulting perspective. You know how to go out and get speaking gigs. Perhaps you're a professional speaker and you know how to do that. Or maybe you're in transition and you're coming from a corporate role and you want to go into management consulting and you knew how to do that other thing in your corporate role, but now you don't know how to sell management consulting services. So how do you start? You got to help people understand their problems. So once you get invited in, you ask them simply, so what are we doing here today? Tell me what you called me to talk about. And they're going to give you hints as to what the problem actually is. And that's all they're going to give you is hints. They're not going to tell you, hey, listen, here's the problem. My product is obsolete and I need to invent a new product. What they're going to say is I have no cash flow and I need help improving my sales process. And in reality, you're going to do some homework. You're going to do some digging behind the scenes as part of your consulting process. And you're going to find out that really they need to change the business that they're in. And then you're going to have to convince them that that's what their problem really is. And that is step number 3, is you're helping the prospect understand what his or her problem really is. They bring you symptoms, you diagnose, and you present them with what the real problem is. Step number 4 is to convince the prospect what the consequences will be of his or her inaction. The way to get people to do anything is to make the pain of not doing what they should be doing greater than the pain of making a change. As human beings, we are all resistant to change. We are all change averse. So in order to get people to move, in order to get people to take action, you have to make the pain of inaction greater than the pain and the consequences of taking action. How do you do that? It's simple. You ask them questions to uncover what solving this problem would mean for them, how it would be better, and then you ask them questions to uncover what pain will be pushing them if they don't solve this problem. You laid it out for them so that solving the problem will be beneficial, not solving the problem will be painful, and then not solving the problem will push them forward, solving the problem will pull them forward. The two things are acting together. So helping them understand the consequences of inaction is critically important in order to sell management consulting services. Step number 5 is to focus the prospect on the personal implications of not acting. It's not enough to just demonstrate how bad things will be for their business if they don't move forward and work with you. You have to help the prospect understand how it's going to hurt them personally. Mr. Smith, why did you call me in here today? Well, you see, Dave, we're having problems with our cash flow. I understand. And now, Mr. Smith, tell me, you're having problems with your cash flow, but why is it important to solve this problem? Why is this important to you personally? I mean, if the company makes less money, what does it matter to you? Well, you see, Dave, when the company makes more money, I get paid more. And I've got 2 kids who are going to private school, and that's very, very expensive. And I'm not able to make the private school payments unless we sell at least $2 million worth of new products a month. That extra money helps me pay for my kids' private school. Oh, Mr. Smith, I get it now. You want to generate more revenue because when you generate more revenue, you make more money, and you got 2 kids you're putting through private school. You need this money or your kids will have to go somewhere else to school. I get it. That's painful. I want to help you, Mr. Smith. So focusing your prospect on the personal implications is critical. So now we talked about focusing on a market niche, narrowing it down, identifying a specific problem that you solve within that niche, and then helping the prospect understand what his problem is, helping the prospect also understand the consequences of inaction, and then focusing on the personal implications of not solving the problem. The final tip I'm going to give you today, before I tell you what not to do, is step number 6, and that's to offer to help. You must offer to help the person who's sitting across the table. They're not going to just stand up and go, yes, you've helped me see this problem is so huge that I have to get it solved. Thank you for doing that. Then you have to say, Mr. Smith, I appreciate the situation that you're in. I've been in similar situations myself. There's empathy. You're connecting with them. I can help you. Would you like some help? That's all you have to say. Would you like some help? Now, you may be wondering, Dave, why should I take your advice on this? And why do I need to focus on this now? There is no better time than right now. We're on the cusp of a huge economic boom. You're going to help people take advantage of it. Consulting is designed to either solve problems, to help people make money, or to help people save money. So in good times, consultants do well, and in bad times, consultants do well. So this is the perfect time for you to add management consulting services to your revenue arsenal. Why me? Why should you be taking advice from me? Candidly, I've done this for 20 years. I've sold consulting services for 20 years. I started a consulting business in New York City, took it from startup to $50 million in 3 years. I started the New York office of Gallup's management consulting business. I carried a book of business of over $20 million myself. I managed that office for 6 years, had record-breaking growth every year, managed over $200 million in consulting projects. That is honestly the reason why I have the level of credibility that's necessary, but most importantly to you, now I run my own firm, and it's a lifestyle business. I have 30 people that work with me. They're all independent contractors. I make a great living and live a great life. I have a 7-figure consulting practice. I built the studio in my home, and I have thrived in every economy. I started my own consulting business in 2008 in the Great Recession. I grew 100% growth during the coronavirus pandemic. I'm here to help you do the same thing. So I've given you those 6 steps. Now I'm going to give you the 7th step, the thing you should never, ever do. You never want to tell a prospect what to do. That's right. Never tell the prospect what to do. You have to convince the prospect that they should take action. They should act because it's their idea. Every idea that a consultant shares with a prospect, that the prospect adopts, is the prospect's idea. You want to be a good consultant, you want to last a long time selling management consulting services, every idea is the client's idea. When they start to grasp the concepts that you're telling them, you say, you know what, Mr. Prospect, that's great. That is a great idea. I'm so glad you shared that with me. Why don't we do 1, 2, 3, 4? They come up with the ideas. You convince them these ideas are theirs. Now, why am I telling you to do this? If you tell someone what to do and they don't like it, they will resent you and they will project their anger onto you and they will never do business with you. Make it their idea. That's the way you sell management consulting services. Never tell somebody what to do. You need to convince them it was their idea in the first place. My name is Dave Lorenzo. This is our series on consultative sales and on selling consulting services. There's another video coming. All you got to do is click right up there. You'll see the next video. In fact, I'm moving now to the end screen. Now this is the end screen. You see the next video in the series coming up. Click on that next video. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Go on. Click it. Come on. You know you want to. I know you want to. Click the video. Do it for me. Do it for yourself. Thanks. See you in that video.